So a year ago, I got a phone call from a buddy of mine at the local Ford dealer. It's a friend of his had purchased a business, and this Model A pickup 31 was in their lobby for years and years, and they decided not to have it in the lobby anymore. So it's been sitting here now for 2 years, and he asked if there's anything I can do to help. And so I just bought it, and we're gonna get it home today and see if we can get it running again and turn around and sell it. But it's a pretty cool truck. So this is my unplanned, newly acquired 1931 Ford Model A pickup truck with a Bud cab. I'd never heard of a Bud cab, but I don't know much about Model A's. But a Bud cab means it's an all steel top and all steel construction for the entire cab. I think a lot of them, or most of them, had a seam here and the seam back here, and it was a material up here. So I guess August of 31, they started making them with these Bud cabs. And when you think about August production date for 31, it's late in the year, so they didn't make a ton of them, but they made 1 billion of these things overall. So it's not like they made 20 of them, but still reasonably rare for the Model A world. I got a call a year ago about this truck. It was in a storage garage behind our local Ford dealer's used car department. And the owner of the dealership and I are friends, and he called up and said, "Hey, we've got this truck. It belongs to one of our good customers. It's a big greenhouse. They've had it on display in the greenhouse for 10 years or so, and it moves around to different locations within this enormous, beautiful greenhouse." It took me a couple days to make an offer because I needed to try to figure out what something like this was worth, and made them an offer. They accepted it, and it got delivered here 5 days ago. But this one was easy. It was literally 15 minutes from my house. It was at a dealership. All we had to do was just put some air in the tires, wheel it, push it out, and had a flatbed truck come and pick it up and bring it to the house. So it really couldn't have been any easier than what that was. And that's great, especially this time of year. Heck, we've got a foot of snow on the ground here already. And my trailers are put away and my truck's put away for the winter. So I was kind of stuck to needing to use a flatbed. But boy, it sure was easy to do it that way. First thing I did was to see if I could get it running. I threw the battery on the charger. It's a 6-volt battery. I got it charged up and turned the key, and it cranked fine. I put some fresh fuel in it. The tank was reading empty, so I put just a gallon of rec fuel into it and opened up the valve, and I could see down in the bowl here that it was getting gas to it. And I thought, what the hell, let's try it. And did all the things in the cab you're supposed to do, and pulled out on the choke and pushed on the start pedal and kept pushing and pushing. It was cranking and cranking, but not firing. And I thought, oh man, we don't have spark. You know, is it going to be coil? What's it going to be? And then I looked out at the dash and I realized I had not turned the key on. So once I turned the key on, I went through the process again, and pretty much as soon as my foot hit the start button, it fired right up and made the nice little cool Model A noises that like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang made. Once it running, I gave it a good bath. Got, a couple years worth of dust from just sitting there at the dealership uncovered back in that garage space. And so a couple years of dust to get cleaned off. Just used soapy car wash and a really soft brush. Went over the whole truck with it, cleaned it up. Gives you a chance to look it over too and see what you're dealing with. But it cleaned up nice and dried off nice. It was certainly in need of a polish, of a buffing. Did not polish it, did not hit it with a buffing wheel, didn't do any of that stuff, because when I want to sell it, I want people to see how it really looks. And sometimes I feel like when you start polishing things and spray painting things and whatnot, people from a buyer's perspective might think you're hiding stuff. Maybe a little bit less with the polishing, but certainly if you're spray painting some things. So I wanted to put my mindset of, let's just get it ready to go to a passionate Model A person who's going to love on it, and they're going to want to be the ones to really give it a good bath and polish it and make it their own. And I look at the wood back here for the bed rails and also the bed. The wood's in great shape. The finish is old and done, so that all needs to be redone. I could take that apart and do that in a heartbeat here. But you know what? If I do it, then I'm going to start making it my own, and I'm going to want to change the wheels and get rid of the old school yellow and go with probably black and probably a darker wood. But whoever buys this might want it exactly like they were in the old school. This is a pretty original truck, so they're going to want to keep the yellow maybe, and they're probably going to want to keep her lighter wood. So again, things that I want the new owners to be able to personalize it and make it their own. And if they want to make it black wheels and dark wood, then they can do that. I shot a bunch of video over the weekend when I worked hard. I went hard on this thing over the weekend, and all of my video files were corrupted. So when I downloaded them, none of them would play and all that. So it kind of frustrated me because I was going with a different angle on this video, and I wanted to show the electrical work I did. The passenger headlamp did not work. So I took it apart, got in there, figured out what was wrong, rewired it, did a few little things to make that work. Now it works. It had turn signals that were aftermarket, that were on the front and the rear with a signal switch up on the column. And albeit I think they're pretty cool looking, and I know they're old. I bet they're at least 50 years old. I'm guessing they were put on during the restoration. They aren't correct for this. These things didn't have turn signals. They weren't working. And worst of all, in my opinion, is the wiring job on them was not good. They were using wire nuts, and the electrical tape was all hard now. The wires were pretty stiff, and when you pop the hood over on the driver's side, you could see where they tapped into the electrical, and it didn't look right. Up underneath, I didn't like the way it looked, so I decided just to remove all of that, and I threw it in a box with a bunch of other old cool parts I've got that, quite frankly, I might use on something else someday. I think they're just really simple and cool looking stuff. They just weren't right for this truck. So pulled that off. And then when I got into the rear wiring, I discovered that they had wired in some new wires for the back taillight, I think, though I don't know for sure. But my buddy's Huckster only had one taillight. It was on the driver's side. And I think that's the way these things came. I think it's an aftermarket one back here on the passenger side. But when they wired it in, I didn't like the wiring. I didn't like the way they ran the wires and everything else. So I rewired that whole thing, put them into a loom that kind of matched what was on there originally. So aesthetically, it all looks good. And now we've got really good waterproof connections and no more residential wire nuts around. But again, I think probably in 75, that might have been one of the only options. I don't know. When I got it cleaned up and all that, I thought, I'm going to throw it out there on a couple pages on Facebook that just deal in these old Ford trucks, the Model A's. And I put some pictures up. I put a price on it and very quickly started getting interest from California, Kansas, several people in St. Louis. I don't know what it is about the St. Louis market, but I think 3 or 4 different people got with me. And then I got a call from a gentleman in Ohio who's a retired school teacher. He loves Model A trucks. His dream truck is a Bud Cab 31 in dark green with black, this truck. He currently has 2 1928 Model A trucks and is got those because he could never find a 31. So he's going to sell those 2 and he's buying this truck. So I'm excited for the new owner, and he is super excited. We did about an 1.5 hour long FaceTime call last night in here where he got to see the whole truck, and we talked about everything. We did a cold start with it. It fired right up, which doesn't surprise me. I showed him the imperfections and didn't bother him a bit, which is exactly the guy you want for something like this, because It's a 50-year-old restoration. It's not perfect anymore. There's a small, tiny little bit of rust back on the cab over here. And there's plenty of, it lived a life. There's plenty of little nicks and stuff. But he said he and his wife wanted just to go run and get ice cream, run to the next town and go out to dinner. And this will be perfect for him. I got to rescue a vehicle that had been sitting and was 2 years of being neglected, and soon to be 4 years to 6 years to 8 years to 10 years of being neglected if somebody didn't step in. It's weeks like this that are the exact reason I absolutely love doing adventures like this. I just kind of call them adventures. There's some risk involved, and I like risk. Obviously, some financial risk. But we got to bring another cool classic car, truck in this case, into the shop. We got to bring it back to life. We got to clean it up real good. We got to fix some stuff that was wrong. We got to take some stuff off that was wrong, and just kind of get it roadworthy, and then let it go on to somebody who's absolutely passionate and loves these trucks. The other thing that I love so much about doing this is I got to learn about a generation of vehicles, a 94, 95, 6, whatever it is, 90-something-year-old vehicle that I really had very limited experience with previously. I'd never, beyond helping a guy out, the friend of mine this summer with his 1930 Model A Huckster, I spent a couple days fixing a couple things on it here at the shop, but I didn't know anything about them. And now I'm really comfortable with these vehicles, and I see why people love them. They're simple. They run like a top. There's not a lot to know mechanically to keep them running and going. And they're just cool vehicles. I mean, these are what my son would call happy vehicles. Anything like this is a happy vehicle. You're happy when you're driving it. People who see them are happy to see it and ask questions and all that. And there'll be a lot of that with this thing in its future. So I'm thrilled to see it move on to the new owner. He is a fantastic guy. I look forward to shaking his hand here when he comes to pick it up after Christmas. His wife is totally into it, and she's as excited as he is, which is awesome. I'm thrilled for them. They said they keep me informed all along the way as they use it and take it out and do it. Send me pictures periodically, which I love. So that's why I do this stuff. I love it when people call me and say, hey, I heard about a whatever vehicle that's somewhere. In this case, again, it was local and easy, but I mean, we've gone very far distances to do this same thing. This was just an easy one because it was local, but it's all worth it. It's fun, and we get to put another cool old car back on the road for somebody. So that's why we do it. Hope you enjoyed this. Maybe you got an idea of something to try and do or not. I don't know, but that's what it is. Thanks.